All right, so you found the perfect apartment or rental house. It's in the right school district, everything you need, all for a fair rent. You found something there, right? But you should suspect that the deal is so good that there are going to be multiple applicants for the property, so it's almost too good. So here's the question. What is your prospective landlord looking for in his next tenant, and how can you make sure it's you? Here with the answer is real estate expert John Adams. John Adams, it seems like it happens every day. 2 or 3 folks apply for that vacancy, you know. So there is something you can do to be a successful applicant?
There are 5 secrets, Buck, that will help you present yourself to the landlord or whoever you're applying to and make you appear more attractive. And I thought we'd do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown.
I love it. I love it. We keep it simple. Let's start with number 5. So cleanliness and deportment. What do we mean?
We're talking about how you present yourself to the landlord. There's going to be an interview, even if it's just a telephone interview, and you want to look sharp. You want to come across as a clean guy. What is your deportment? How do you hold yourself? I think that is, while it's number 5 out of 5, it does enter into the decision. And remember, this is a subjective decision the landlord is making. Things like this, you know, we always talk about discrimination, but this is an area that you can excel in without really doing anything more than taking a shower and putting on a tie.
Almost like a job interview.
Almost, like, that's right.
All right, number 4, life stability. That's got to be important.
You know, I almost labeled this no drama.
Right.
I have some tenants who everything is a crisis. I mean, if just there's a tiny crack in the window pane, how are we going to live here? Well, you know, I always ask this question: how long have you lived in the metro Atlanta area and how many homes have you lived in? And when somebody says, I've lived here 10 years and I've been in 12 homes now, that's an indication that they're sort of a rolling stone.
Right.
And there's not a lot of stability in their life. And I'm looking for a tenant who's going to be stable, who's going to stay with me sometime. So life stability is something I'm looking for.
Certainly number 3 is hugely important to the landlord. We're talking about income and credit score.
It is, Buck. I've got to know that this prospective tenant has the financial wherewithal to make the monthly payments, because we're talking about a lot of money. If you figure the rent's $1,000, that's $12,000 a year, which is a pretty good chunk out of almost anybody's budget. So does this person have a stable job, or at least an income that has been stable in the past? Obviously, for self-employed, that's a little more difficult. We love somebody who works for General Motors, has a pay stub, but that's not always the case. But that credit score is a reflection of how they've handled their financial responsibilities in the past. If you've got a high credit score, you're one step ahead of everybody else.
All right, number 2, we're talking about responsibility and respect. What do you mean by that?
I think one, respect is, do they show respect for me? And I think everybody deserves a level of respect in business. But do they show a respect for my time? Are they on time for the interview? Do they show some respect for themselves? Do they look like a slob? Or are they, this goes back a little bit to cleanliness and deportment, but how have they shown responsibility in the past? Have they handled credit well? That gets back to your credit score. What are some things they've done in their life? I like to explore a little bit beyond that credit score number just to get a sense of what this person is all about. And if they've demonstrated responsibility, either for taking care of something or a job where there's some responsibility, that plays well to me, because I think they'll take care of my property.
Number 1, drum roll please. We're talking about the likely length of the rental. Why is this so important?
Buck, my number 1 expenditure is turnover. It costs me on average 3 months rent when you move out. And if somebody says to me, Mr. Adams, I want your property, but I'm only going to be here for a year and I'm definitely leaving after that, I'll probably look for someone else, not because I don't want you, but I know that at the end of that period of time, I'm going to sustain a pretty substantial expenditure, and I just as soon let that go. If you'll sign a 2 or even a 3-year lease with me in this environment, that goes a long, long way.
Good advice.
Okay.
All right, John, thanks a lot. And for more on today's topic with real estate expert John Adams, you can join him on Facebook for a live chat. That's coming up next hour. Okay? Your time is 8:43, and coming up on Good Day Atlanta, Paul Milliken is getting a sneak peek at the 2000